Good evening, you are watching TKC World, where we make sense of the global events with straight facts and sharp analysis. Coming up on the show, US court blocks Trump's tariffs. Tonight we explain what it means for India. Meanwhile, Musk quits DOGE after 130 days. On the show, we discuss whether Musk was forced to quit DOGE and break down the complete story for you. Also on the show, is Taiwan on the edge of war? China and the US ramp up military posturing in the Pacific, raising deep concerns. And finally, we decode how Erdogan is rewriting the constitution to stay in power forever. All this is lined up. Let's begin. Do you remember April 2nd, the day Donald Trump called Liberation Day? That's when he rolled out a wave of new tariffs on imports, claiming it was a fight for fair trade. But now, just weeks later, those same tariffs have been blocked by a US court. And the twist is that this ruling might actually turn into a golden opportunity for India. Let's break it down. On April 2nd, Donald Trump made headlines when he introduced what he called reciprocal tariffs. That means if a country was charging the US a 30% import tax, he had charged them the same in return. It was aggressive, it was loud, and it was aimed at literally every single country, including India. This led to a widespread panic and stock markets tumbled, dollar depreciated, gold surged, and all the countries rushed to negotiate trade deals with the United States of America with a purpose in mind: to dodge Trump tariffs. Fast forward to mid-May, a three-panel judge of the US Court of International Trade stepped in and said, "Hold on. The president cannot just slap tariffs on whoever he wants." So what is this ruling? The ruling is quite simple. Trump overstepped his authority. They said the law he used, the International Emergency Economics Power Act, was meant for national security threats, not for the global trade wars. In short, the court blocked most of Trump's tariff orders, tariffs that were already hurting exporters and straining global supply chains and global economies. As a result, markets cheered, the dollar soared, every country was happy. Even China called on US to fully cancel these lawful tariff measures. And guess what? Trump and his team weren't happy. His spokesperson called the judge unelected and said Trump was just doing what he needed to do to put America first. Stephen Miller tweeted that the judicial coup in the country is out of control. And Trump himself posted a dramatic photo with the words, "He is on a mission from God. Nothing can stop what is coming." They've already filed an appeal, but what I wanted to discuss with you is that what does this mean for our country, India? How will this impact us? Let's understand this now. You see, India has been locked in trade talks with the US for months now, but it has been tough. Trump wanted India to slash duties, open up tech markets, and offer better access to American goods. India was under pressure. In fact, during the last union budget, India even cut tariffs on items like bourbon whiskey and motorbikes, likely to please the Americans. But now, the United States doesn't have that leverage anymore. The tariff threat hanging over India's head, it's gone, at least for now. This ruling gave India and Indian negotiators a breathing room, a space to negotiate, a space with a bargaining power. With the court weakening Trump's tariff powers, here is how India can push back. Number one, India can demand better access for its goods in the US market. Number two, Trump wants India to open up more to big tech, but India's own standing committee on finance recently flagged platforms like Google Play for anti-competitive practices. So this is something that can be talked about. Number three, if the US becomes less reliant on China, India stands to benefit, especially in sectors like pharma, like textiles and manufacturing. Brokerage firm Motilal Oswal noted that this could be India's moment to strengthen its position as a global trade partner. So what's in this for average Indian, for you and me? If India can secure better trade terms, we could see lower prices for imported goods, more job and export-led industry, and stronger global positioning in critical sectors as well. Trump's setback could be India's step up, but it all depends on how smartly our country India plays its next move, because in diplomacy, leverage is literally everything. When we are in a friendship, it feels like it will last forever, eternal, unbreakable. You ride the highs together, survive the lows, and believe this is it. But friends, let me tell you from personal experience, there is no such thing as eternal friendship. Most relationships, especially in the power corridors or the political corridors, are just like tissue papers, used and then discarded. And today we are seeing something similar unravel on the global stage. The bromance between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, once cherished, once celebrated, and once even memed, is officially over. Let's rewind a bit. In mid 2024, Elon Musk shocked many by openly endorsing Donald Trump right after an assassination attempt during a campaign rally. It was dramatic, it was symbolic, and the beginning of what people called the first bromance of power tech fusion. A few weeks later, Trump won the presidency and Musk was handed a massive responsibility to lead the Department of Government Efficiency, or short formed as DOGE, not the coin. And the mission? To slash federal spending, cut waste, and fix bureaucracy. Musk dove in headfirst, cutting departments, laying tens of thousands of government workers, employees, and restructuring massive chunks of Washington's operations. Trump praised him, calling him a genius at CPAC, and even shouted him out during a congressional address. But things started to soar. You ask why? Because, like most partnerships, the crack begin when ideas clash with politics. Trump pushed a big, beautiful spending bill, his signature plan for economic revival. But Musk wasn't having it. He publicly slammed it, saying it, and I quote, undermines everything DOGE stands for. His exact words, a bill can either be big or beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. And with that one sentence, the bromance crumbled. The very next day, Musk posted on X, as my scheduled time as a special government employee come to an end, I would like to thank President Trump. The DOGE mission will only strengthen over time as it become a way of life throughout the government. It wasn't just a goodbye, dear viewers, it was a mic drop moment. During his 130-day tenure, Musk promised 2 trillion in saving. That was later downgraded to 150 billion, a big miss. Lawsuits followed, conflict of interest allegations piled up, Tesla stocks took a hit, showrooms were vandalized, the DOGE dream was shrinking fast. And yet, Musk continued. But as of May 28, his stint officially ended. So what's next for Musk? He's not sulking in some corner, he's pivoting hard back to business. He's driving deep into SpaceX, Tesla, and his AI company XAI. He's reportedly sleeping in factories once again. Tesla investors even demanded that he devote at least 40 hours per week to the company. In fact, he recently told the Washington Post, and I quote, I probably did spend too much time on politics. The federal bureaucracy is much worse than I imagined. And here is the key takeaway. Even after the intense backlash, lawsuits, and political controversies, Elon Musk is choosing to return to one of the things that he does best, building the future. Self-driving cars, robots, interplanetary rockets, that's where his focus is now. As The Guardian perfectly summed up, rather than dwell on a year or missed targets, Musk is back to selling a future where anything is possible. So as the bromance ends and the political curtains close, the tech tycoon is stepping back into his real arena, where ideas shape reality and where ambition isn't tied to approval ratings. But in the end, politics may come and go, but innovation, that's Elon Musk's forever friend. Imagine you are living in a neighborhood where two powerful families keep circling your house, one flexing muscle, the other trying to build fences. And you are trying to live your life, but tension is thick, and everyone is holding their breath. That's what Taiwan is facing right now. In recent months, China has drastically increased military activity around Taiwan. Experts are saying this isn't just for China's show anymore. China is preparing for something real. According to top Taiwanese officials, the Chinese military can go from peace mode to war mode almost instantly. Just 5 years ago, Chinese warplanes entered Taiwanese airspace maybe 10 times a month. Today, over 245 times and more than 120 times, they cross an invisible line in the Taiwan Strait that used to act as an unofficial boundary. On May 27th alone, 61 Chinese aircrafts flew dangerously close to Taiwan. At the same time, China's ambiguous forces, the ones that could be used to land troops on Taiwanese beaches, have been training aggressively. They have got rocket systems that can hit any part of the island. And every single drill they have done since 2022 focused on Taiwan itself. The US isn't standing by. In response, it is also ramping up military exercises with the Philippines and Japan and placing advanced missile systems just miles from Taiwan. Some of these systems, like the Navy's anti-ship missile launchers and long-range Tokohamas, are meant to stop Chinese forces before they can even begin their action. Annual war games like Balikatan, which used to be simple drills, are now fully scale war simulations. Over 9,000 US and 5,000 Filipino troops took part this year with support from Australia and Japan. All this is happening in waters that China claims as its own, especially the South China Sea. Naturally, China sees all this as a threat. They have accused the US of being proactive or provocative, making the situation even more unstable. China's military under Xi Jinping has modernized rapidly. They have new planes, ships, cyber capabilities, even space tech now. But not everything is perfect. Many experts say political control inside the army, like forced ideological training, hurts real combat readiness. Some reports suggest that nearly 40% of their training time is spent on political education, not the actual fighting. Still, the US believes that China may be aiming for full war readiness to invade Taiwan by 2027. Meanwhile, Taiwan isn't sitting quietly either. It has extended military service, changed its defense strategies, and is holding major drills in July. President Lai Ching-te has called this a war of endurance, and the island is preparing for it, not just with weapons, but with public awareness and international support at the same time, the geopolitical support. Taiwan is now the most dangerous flashpoint in the US-China relations. One wrong move, an aircraft flying too close or a missile test going too far, can spark something no one wants. Peace isn't impossible, but it is becoming harder to hold on to. After crushing opposition voices, jailing critics, and siding with terrorist nations like Pakistan, Turkish President Erdogan has come up with something new. He wants to rewrite Turkey's constitution. But here is the real question. Is this about democracy, or is Erdogan just trying to stay in power forever? Let's start with understanding what's happening. On Tuesday, Erdogan announced that he has appointed 10 legal experts to start working on a brand new Turkish constitution. On paper, it sounds noble, like he is trying to modernize the old system. But when you dig deeper, many are asking, is this just a backdoor way for Erdogan to extend his presidency beyond 2028? Under Turkey's current constitution, Erdogan is not allowed to run again unless there is an early election or the rules are changed. And guess what? That's exactly what critics fear he is planning on. Erdogan has ruled Turkey for over 2 decades now, first as the prime minister, then as president, and each time the law limited his power, he either bent it or rewrite it. In March, one of his most popular opponents, Istanbul's mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu, was arrested. That sparked nationwide protests. İmamoğlu is young, charismatic, and widely seen as the opposition's best hope in the next election. Erdogan clearly sees him as a threat. This isn't the first time Imamoglu has been targeted. In 2022, he was sentenced to jail and banned from politics for insulting Turkey's election council. The ban is still under appeal, and this year more charges, this time relating to corruption and alleged links to PKK, a Kurdish militant group. With his opponent silenced, jailed or banned, Erdogan's timing to push for a new constitution suddenly makes more sense, or I should say everyone concerned. So what's Erdogan's excuse? Because such people always come up with some sort of excuse and explanation. It may not make any sense, but they still say it out loud. He says the current constitution was written after the 1980 military coup and still carries a coup era mindset. He wanted a document shaped by people, not the military. It sounded like a powerful argument. After all, who wouldn't want to get rid of a military-imposed constitution rulebook? But there is a twist. Always is. Erdogan's action over the years have become more authoritarian, not less. He's cracked down on media, jailed journalists, arrested military officials and civil servants over alleged coup links, even banning social media at times. So when he says he's doing this for quote-unquote democracy, people aren't buying it. Here is the real strategy. His party doesn't have enough votes in parliament to pass a new constitution on its own. That's why many believe that Erdogan is trying to strike a deal with pro-Kurdish parties, possibly by promising peace talks with the PKK to secure the extra votes that he needs to pass this constitution. But why now? What's the urgency? Because opinion polls show Erdogan is trailing behind Imamoglu. The public mood is shifting, inflation high, the economy is struggling, and there is growing frustration with Erdogan's grip onto power for more than 2 decades now. With the 2028 elections looming, Erdogan might be feeling the heat and trying to lock in his political future before it's too late. So while Erdogan claims this is about national progress and democratic reform, critics argue it's just another chapter in a long playbook of power grabs. Whether it's silencing rivals or rewriting the rules, one thing is quite clear. Turkey's democracy is walking a dangerous tightrope, and what Erdogan is doing is certainly making it worse. And that's all I have for you on the show tonight. Now I will see you tomorrow. Until then, take care and good night.